So if you work for Condé Nast, can it only be 35 for all of Condé Nast, or can it be 35 for each of their publications? So that's why the word putative becomes important, but I don't know how it's going to work legally. But I thought that was, and it's also, isn't that in a way freedom of press, a freedom like a First Amendment issue?
It is. Yeah, it's now as you mention it,
yeah,
it's unconstitutional.
I mean, they're literally
it's
stopping.
the law abridging the freedom of press.
Yeah. That's California, Uber alles.
Well, California Uber alles has always been unconstitutional, but yeah, that's unconstitutional now that you mention it.
I think it's great. And while we're on that, we might as well talk about Trump's lawyers. They sent an email to CNN. Did you see this thing?
Yes, this was another great distraction of the week.
Well, what I found interesting is essentially, see, the law they're citing is the Lanham Act, which I happen to know a lot about.
Yeah, well, you should, because it's about trademarks and copyrights.
Well, and false advertising. I was sued under the Lanham Act when MTV wanted MTV.com. And, of course, both the parties settle out of court. Neither party has any further comment. But the Lanham Act is also for false advertising, and that's what I found funny. It's completely misinterpreted by Twitter and the retards everywhere else. I'm sorry, I can't call anything else but that. Who are like, for calling him bad names, he's upset. No. The Lanham Act says if you say you're unbiased and you provide fair and balanced news, that's false advertising. If you're not, and of course they cite the Project Veritas and all of that. And so it'll go nowhere. But I thought it was interesting that it's only sent towards CNN because, right there in the title, fair and balanced, Fox News, you can take them down for it too.
Oh,
if we're really going to apply the Lanham Act, then let's do it. And it's just, it always bothers me when people misinterpret these things that are done and it becomes truth. Well, I guess that's a lifelong.
Well, I got into one go around with a Twitter. I told him the Lanham Act. This is about the Lanham Act. This is if anyone thinks this is going anywhere and wants to argue about it, count me out.
Yeah. Exactly. It's stupid.
It's stupid, but it's so funny. Scott Adams had. I have to say, I don't particularly like. Clipping him. You have to clip him. You got to really clip him hard because he's got a lot of pauses.
Yeah.
But he came out with some funny stuff on his Periscope show, which by the way, and he's got a new book out, which I'm supposed to get a copy of.
Mm-hmm.
And
is it how not? What is it?
How to be a loser?
How not to be a loser? Yeah.
And he, I've finally decided. I'm watching him do this. It just dawned on me. I said, when I interviewed him, he was already talking about a loss in income on Dilbert, but it's not necessarily because people hate him or Dilbert. His market is dying. For the cartoon business is. I mean, he's the last of the Mohicans. Selling these panels.
Yes.
Because the newspapers they're kicking. Half of them already kicked out and fired their editorial cartoonists.
Yeah, they can't afford it. Period.
They can't afford anything, and and the syndicated stuff they can kind of afford, but they're going to probably cut. This is like I hate to keep telling these stories, but
why? We love your stories. Don't hate telling them. It's good.
Doesn't mean I like telling them. No. But I'm at Tech TV.
You consider a different profession.
And you've noticed, you've probably seen this too. They had to do some cutbacks. So the first thing they start cutting back is first it was free milk.
First the food. It's always the coffee, the food, the
food goes
craft
first,
service table.
The second thing that went was the makeup artist.
No. Before makeup, parking goes. We literally saw that at Mevio. What are you talking about? We had parking.
We never had parking.
At Mevio, we did. I said at Mevio. Don't you remember? I protected your coveted spot.
There was hardly enough parking to count.
I protected your spot, man.
Yeah, I did have a spot.
Yeah, then next is makeup, and then it's the lighting director. Of course, that's how it goes.
Yeah, the makeup the way it went at Tech TV was first the milk and coffee, and then it was the makeup artist, which was ridiculous because the makeup artist, I think, to any makeup artists out there, and you would know this in particular, the makeup artist is maybe the most important person or persons
yes.
at any of TV operations.
And let me explain why. People may not realize this. The makeup room and the makeup staff, and these are artists, are also psychologists. They are the ones that will sit there, will know the shit that's going on in your life, will talk to you about it, will make you feel calm. Would you like another cup of tea, a cup of coffee? Oh, yeah. And they while they're making you look good, they will completely build up your ego. And it is a fundamental part of certainly of any live television, but any television in general. Makeup is where the peace and the calm is put into the guests and the hosts. Would you agree?
I would agree with that, but I'd also, in most situations on television, people don't realize that many of the incredibly attractive women are at base ugly ducklings. And they could use a couple hours, and they'll take it. 2 hours in the makeup chair, they come out Miss America. And that's very important for the image of the network. Do it yourself. Having some of these women do their own makeup is a nightmare.
Yeah, and then but also television makeup is very different. I mean, it's a very different animal. And of course, after they get rid of the makeup department, then they get rid of the fluffers. I mean, it's just downhill from there.
Well, in this case, they got rid of wardrobe, and which is another thing. So people had to start dressing themselves, and this is not going to work.
Yeah.
But this is the kind of thing that goes on. I don't know how I got off the track. That's probably why I didn't want to tell the story.
I like it. And I was just thinking of my own MTV story when I'll just take the ball and run with it. When I arrived at MTV in the late 80s, they had no makeup department, no wardrobe, and the lighting guy came in once a week. He said, stand here. He'd knock the thing around with his stick. Bop. He said, good, okay. This is your mark. He put a little AC next to it, so I knew it was my mark. They had no hair, makeup, or wardrobe whatsoever. And it was, I mean, they were able to hire me and bring me over from Europe. I mean, this was a going operation. It was Mickey Mouse.
Yeah, it sounds Mickey Mouse. But back to what I think the point was, is that Scott Adams has seen the writing on the wall. And he knows it's a dying industry, and his cartoons are, so he makes, I think he makes some bulk of his money now on books about the cartoons and these expositions. And he's done a bunch of them. He's done like 3 books in the last couple of years they're always bestsellers. He's got a good name for himself. And then he does this Periscope thing, which is a promotional tour for the book.
Question for you.
Yeah.
What kind of money do you think an author like Scott Adams makes off of a book?
$1 million.
Damn, that's pretty good.
Yeah,
that's pretty good. Okay, at least I have something to strive towards.
Yeah, he can make it. Well, he's got a name, and he's got the distribution, and he does big publishers, and they do big deals. And he could probably be laughing if he's listening to this. He doesn't listen to the show, but he could be laughing, going, little does he know. He could be making $2 million, $3 million. I don't know.
Or he could be making $200,000.
He's making $1 million at least.
Okay.
Minimum.
Well, you would know.
And so he does these. So he does this Periscope thing, and some of it's pretty funny. But he did one the other day about predicting that whatever happens when Trump pulls out is that you're going to hear about a hospital bombing and using chemical weapons.
Oh, good. So he does listen to our show, is what you're saying.
Well, he says this is the case with all these. He says it doesn't matter whether it happens or not, but you're always going to hear about it. But he did a kind of this would be something I'm always. You do it, you still do it, I still do it. It's kind of a problem, which is the being sarcastic on the internet or even especially online, because you just can be quoted out of context. Yeah. But he went on I got a clip here of Scott Adams on McRaven. So McRaven, the general, and then Mad Dog Mattis and McRaven, this real douchebag admiral from the Clinton administration, Obama buddy, both of them Clinton supporters. they went after the president, which I think was very unprofessional for professional military men to do this because he's the commander in chief.
Yep.
But they did it anyway. And McRaven was really, and it was about Syria, and he screwed up Syria, and Hillary's all in on this. Oh, Syria, we got to be in Syria, even though we weren't in Syria, as you proved 2 shows ago when you played all these old clips.
No boots on the ground. No boots on the ground. Advise and assist role. We're not fighting anything. No.
So Adams goes off in a very sarcastic, funny kind of a sarcastic rant, which I thought would be worth playing because it's amusing. But again, it's sarcastic. So I can imagine people listening to this and agreeing with him instead of realizing he's being incredibly sarcastic. But I thought it was clippable.
According to Admiral McRaven, this president has damaged our standing with other leaders and our credibility, so much so that how can we depend on them in the future? For example, let's say we got into a big war. Do you think we could, depend on Greece coming to our rescue? No. Greece would look at the situation and say, well, look what they did to the Kurds. We're not coming to help them militarily. How are we going to win a war without the Greeks? I don't see how. What if let's say Russia sends a nuclear weapon our way and starts a nuclear war? We're not going to have the Kurds on our side. So how are we going to defend against a thermonuclear war with Russia if we have no Kurds? No Kurds at all. Like not even one Kurd is going to help us. What are we going to do? Well, I would say we're in pretty bad shape in that case. So Admiral McRaven has got a good point here. Who is ever going to help the United States? Who is going to help us? Because before this, you can see that other countries were forming a line to give us money and military aid, and my God, other countries wanted to help the United States so much that we almost couldn't handle all the help they were giving us.
Yes, I recall the freedom fries vividly. That is very dangerous for him to do. Because when he does that, he sounds very serious out of context.
I know he sounds like he's serious,
and I'm sure
and he himself knows that he's quoted. I think Jordan Peterson made it popularized it that I don't know if the number's this high, but 25% of people out there have no sense of humor.
Right? Yeah.
They don't get anything. And that means 25% of the people listening to him are going, oh, yeah, that's true.
It's funny. And it's funny. We saw Scott Adams last night. We went to Dracula, the play here in Austin.
Yeah?
Yeah. And so Tina and I were sitting there just before it started, people coming in. Scott Adams. We saw Meatloaf, Lizzo, even Stephen Hawkins. Austin's happening.
What?
It might not have been them, but man, they looked like them.
Oh, yeah.
Just saying. Scott Adams has a lot of doppelgangers out there.
Yeah. Anyway, so he's working it, and I think he's a smart guy that can make money. So,
well, he's got to make a lot to maintain his lifestyle, I think, or at least. I mean, he spends a lot of money, puts money into real estate and all kinds of deals, and I think, and restaurants. I personally think
he's out of the restaurant game completely.
I think he's prone to being soaked if he doesn't watch out. Soaked. He's got to be careful. He's got to be careful. Well, I'm glad you did that. That was a good report. And with that, I'd like to thank you for your courage and say in the morning to you, the man who put the sea in crashing out, John Ciorda Dvorak.
Well, in the morning to you, Mr. Adam Curry. Also in the morning, all feet on the ground, feet in the air, subs in the water, boots on the ground, and the dames and the knights out there.
Close enough. In the morning to the trolls in the troll room, who are ITMing away as we speak at this noagendastream.com. Where you are welcome this morning if you checked in by live pre-stream from Darren O. There's always some kind of live stream happening on just before the No Agenda show. On Sunday, I think DJ Steven will be taking over the airwaves. That should be fun to listen to. And it's a great place to go and troll other people, troll the hosts of the show, troll people live, just throw some stuff out there. Ask people what the price of Bitcoin is. Get an invite to No Agenda Social, or just hang out with people who generally aren't triggered. And noagendastream.com. Then I would also like to say in the morning to... let me get it here. Yes, well, it is the same Darren O'Neill I was just talking about. Darren O'Neill, who brought us the artwork for episode 1182.
Adam and John critique the show art.
Forgot we had a jingle for it. Yes, let's critique the show art at noagendaartgenerator.com. It's a segment now, you see. It's a whole segment. Now, we had a hard time, once again.
That's a kind of a cute voiceover voice.
I'm forgetting who did that. It's, I don't know who did that. Tom Starkweather's partner, I think.
Oh, well, she's got a dynamite voice. She should do some work.
She does some mixing, too. She does some of the mixes, end-of-show mixes. So what we had a number of We're All Gonna Die. We had some looks. We had the Queen as a lizard. We had LeBron with a money basketball and Chinese flags. Pete Buttigieg's head in a pile of poop. But the one we chose was the breakup with big tech, based upon, I guess, my quotable, since I've seen it pop up here and there. Let's not break up big tech, but break up with big tech. And it was well done. That
was a good line. It was a good line.
Thank you.
There was actually two pieces in this series that had a breakup with big tech. I think there was another. Yeah, the one where the comic strip blogger had a big tech falling off a cliff.
Right. Which just didn't hit home for us. The one that we kind of both liked, but we didn't choose it. Another Darren O piece, by the way, because we figured that people wouldn't get the joke. And it was an ABC News live from Syria shot, and it's clearly the Alamo.
And we discussed this particular piece. I liked it the most. Yeah. But then I relented, because as we discussed it, and then I came to the realization is that today's generations and many people who listen to the show are just generally Americans.
Exactly.
Don't know what the Alamo is, and they would never recognize it if they saw it.
Exactly.
And that's what it was. It was the Alamo. And I don't think anyone would get the joke.
No, that was what we discussed, and so we agreed that no, they probably wouldn't. I mean, I know the Alamo, of course, and I'm confronted with the image more frequently than most.
Have you been to the Alamo?
I have, yeah. It's pretty small.
It's very small. It's like somebody's big house.
It's like, is this a tiny home version of the Alamo? I had a different idea in mind.
Yeah.
And do you know who's when I was there, his artwork was on display. Do you know who was a huge collector of Texas art, in particular Alamo-related art?
No.
Phil Collins.
Wow, that's odd.
Yeah, and he has his whole collection.
Studio?
Studio guy, yeah. Or one more. Well, the Genesis guy. Yeah. Phil Collins. We all know Phil. Phil hates me.
He hates you.
Yeah. There was a period in the 80s where we would always be bumping into each other. I'd have to interview him if it wasn't, at some, at Wembley Stadium for some kind of, one of those benefit shows. He would be in my studio. And then at a certain point, he'd just say, "Oh, Curry, too tall, too much hair. I hate you." And he would walk away.
Huh.
Yeah.
It was loving.
I think it was love, a form of love.
Yeah.
It was in the air tonight.
Should have gotten his autograph.
We have a system here on this podcast in which, we don't get elites to drop by. We don't have corporate money. We don't have sponsors. We're not a member of like a Podcast One network that, would get us money. No. What we've done is we have determined that we also do not have an audience. We don't. We just don't have it. The modern way of radio, let's just call it that, is you have producers. Your entire audience is a group of producers, and they help you create and produce the show in many different ways. Obviously, lights have to stay on, server bills have to be paid, food needs to be purchased, and that's why we have producers who support us financially. And just off the bat, I always do it in the second segment. I want to thank everybody who does a regular subscription donation, a sustaining donation. Some of it's $4 a month, some of it's $5 a week, some of it's per show. We have 1111s, we have fun numbers, 3333, 1212s. Thank you so much. It can't be said enough because there is at least a base of support there. It's not enough to continue the show on, but it being there always makes me smile because I do see the entire list each and every show. And I just want to take a moment to thank those people for always being there for us. And for today's show, we have a couple of executive producers and associate executive producers, and we're going to thank them as well right now.
We are the clockless CPU of podcasting.
The clockless CPU?
Yeah.
This must be a reference I don't understand.
No, I don't think anybody. I guarantee there's 5 people out there that get that joke.
Okay.
But okay.
All right.
Onward with the...
okay.
Yeah, I'll tell you this story. The clockless CPU was kind of a holy grail of processors that was discussed for a decade or more, and it's still bandied about as something no one can do it.
So it's just it has no limitations. It just goes as fast as it can.
It goes as fast or as slow as it can. It's not. There's no clock.
Right.
It just does its thing. But it can't be, apparently, with most of the electronics world, you need a clock. You need timing. You need something that's fixed.
Yeah.
We are the clockless. We're like the holy grail of podcasts. We're not in a network. We're not in all this bull crap. We're not in a union. There's a good one. We don't work for the New York Times. We don't have advertisers.
No.
But we do have these people, and we're going to thank each and every one of them right now. The executive and associate executive producers for show 1183, starting with David Boswell, came in with $500, and he says one and one thing only: you both do important work.
And that's it.
That's it.
Beautiful. Thank you very much, David.
He's followed by Sir. Yeah. Thank you, David. He's followed by Sir Gregory Worley, Baron of South Mountain Lake, Virginia, with $396, which was also known as the Porcupine Engine, if you're a Chevy collector. Happy anniversary, $33 for each year. So I look forward to each and every show. Thank you so much for everything, you guys, and everyone that supports the show. Thank you all. Sir Greg Worley, and this is another thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Sir Gregory.
Yes. Douglas Garcia. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. No jingles, no karma. 3 in a row. Thank you for the years of information and entertainment. Boom.
Boom.
Roll.
3 in a row. Well, thank you, Douglas Garcia.
And those are our executive producers. So they all are princes for not writing War and Peace.
Yes.
So let's shift gears. Darren O'Neill comes in.
There he is. Speak of the devil. This is the Darren O'Neill from the artwork, Darren O'Neill from the pre-stream. Does Darren O'Neill have any kind of existence outside of our show?
I don't know that he's not a knight. Anyway, 2, 5, 6, 7. Yeah, no, he doesn't. Now he's still going for the trifecta.
We don't even know if he's real. He may just be an AI or something.
Oh, he could be that cartoon character he draws of himself.
Yeah, could be.
2, 5, 6, 7, 5, which has some meaning, I'm sure. Hello, John and Adam. The No Agenda University sweatshirts generated a few sales, and part of this donation, that's right, he did the No Agenda sweatshirts.
That's right. Oh, cool.
No Agenda University. Gorgeous. Just the No Agenda logo on our sweatshirts with university. And this part of the donation is part of the profits he's giving us.
Oh, thanks.
I have relisted the items and will be adding some more using other artwork I've done in the near future. The items will be available at noagendastore.com. I hope that John received the hoodie I sent him. Yes, I did, and it's prominently displayed. I also added some cash that I recently received unexpectedly to bring the total to 25675. Health Karma update. My dad's hip surgery back in the early July went well.
Good.
He's been progressing nicely since and is being able to walk with just a cane. No agenda. Health Karma works. Can I please get the Dvorak Curry marketing treatment for my podcast? Grumpy Old Benz. He does it with Ryan Bemrose.
Sir Ryan Bemrose.
Sir Ryan Bemrose, yes, sorry. It's a tech guy's take on the world. So basically, we stole the idea of cranky geeks, removed the knowledgeable host from the mix, and added 2 unhinged hosts instead.
I'd say winning format.
It sounds good to me.
Yeah.
The end is better than most of these things.
Yes,
out there. There's
exactly.
so many tech podcasts. Why don't you do a tech podcast? Why should I do a tech podcast?
Exactly.
The end result is magical. We are just 2 old guys yelling at the cloud. Neither one of you are that old. GrumpyOldBenz.com. Thank you for, GrumpyOldBenz.com. I think, don't we have it in the rotation? I'm not sure.
Yeah, Grumpy Old Benz runs all the time after the show on the No Agenda stream. Oh, absolutely. In fact, they did it live.
Talking about this, let me finish it, but then I want to say something about the stream.
All right.
Thank you for all you do to keep us sane. It's appreciated in the morning, Darren. I think we should do it on our show too. So I'm listening to the stream, and I decide I'm going to listen to the stream and see what, maybe should be bumped, but I'm listening. And so, and I'm hearing this one guy, and he's going on and on and on. He's a one guy. He's a single guy, yak. And he talks about, he's got some good stuff, conspiracy kind of stuff, which most of these podcasts seem to be. And there's other podcasts, and they come and they go. And there's a woman with another guy, and they're yakking about something. And they go for hours, and nobody ever does a "you're listening to."
Yes.
And I think streamer, we don't have to make it mandatory, but I think we should do it ourselves. That just at the beginning, like maybe at the end of this donation segment or something, at least twice in the 3 hours, we should have a canned. It has to be canned because it has to sound canned.
Okay. A promo?
You're listening to the No Agenda Show.
Well, we have those that run in between the shows. We have plenty of those sweepers.
That's no good.
Oh, just promoting our own show on our show.
Not our show, the show that is being
I understand.
broadcast.
But you said we should do it too.
On our show.
Yeah, you said on our show, you're listening to the No Agenda Show. Like
Yes.
that? Okay.
Yeah.
It's called the station ID.
It would be the equivalent of a station ID. There's no station involved, but it would be the equivalent. And I would like the podcasters that, maybe you could do them all.
Yeah, because I need more to do. Yes. Send it my way, John.
You got time to do
I literally this morning forwarded you an email of someone said, I was too lazy to look up John's email. Please forward it to him. Like I'm your biatch. So
Yeah, you
sure.
are.
Yes.
So, okay. Let's get back to the point.
May I make a suggestion? The suggestion is as follows. We need, coming from a background of doing this, why don't we get the voice that I just played, which was the show art voice. Here we go.
Adam and John critique the show art.
Why don't we have that voice go? You're listening to the No Agenda.
Genius.
Yeah, and then have her do that for every single show. Then we have what we call station color. And it's female, which is good these days for the social justice warriors.
Oh, yeah.
Mm-hmm. So
I think it would be dynamite. It should be done for all the shows that are on. And
I'm on it. I'm making it happen as we speak.
Because it was bothersome. I'm listening.
Yeah, because you don't know what you're listening to.
I can't just listen for 24 hours. And so, waiting for whenever the show ends. And then even when the show ends, it's kind of sketchy what the show was called.
You don't know what it was. But there's lots of sweepers and promos in between the shows. That works very well. And, Void and Bemrose and all those guys have that set up beautifully. But I agree. Just doing that. If you're a part of the No Agenda stream, throw it. We'll do it too. We just throw it in. Okay. So Tom Starkweather now has work with his partner. Excellent.
Yeah, we need a couple of takes, not just so we can choose.
Yes, Mr. Executive Producer.
I'm just saying.
I'm going to give Darren.
I was thinking about this.
I'm going to give Darren O'Neill a goat screen karma because I just feel like giving it to him.
You've got karma.
There we go. Thanks, Darren O.
I was thinking about this suit thing, and I'm watching Amazon come out with some of these turds. and they need, and they say, well, let's just do a whole season. This worked fine when you had Kevin Spacey, a superstar producer, director, actor,
right.
now out on the outs. He started it off with the House of Cards. They did the whole season at once without having to worry about it. But in network television, even when they only had 3 channels, they would run a series and they'd kill it after 2 shows.
Yeah.
Or 1. There's
Right.
plenty of Broadway shows that were killed after the first night.
I'll tell you, that Dracula should be killed off. I'll tell you that.
Well, anyway, they would kill these shows, and that's because there were suits. I think the suits are important now that I'm starting to think of like one.
The suits?
The suits, the guys who say, this show stinks.
Yeah, it is important to have some kind of suit somewhere.
Wait until you see this. There's a couple of new things on Amazon. They're just the worst.
Now, we watched something good last night, couple episodes of Modern Love.
Oh, that's the worst.
Oh, I think it's actually incredibly good.
I consider it the most racist thing I've ever seen. Let's go and look at Modern Love from a distance.
What do you mean racist? You're thinking about something else. This is adaptations of the New York Times column Modern Love.
For one thing, the New York Times co-producer, so they're the kind of the suits. It's not racist. Name one woman of color in the entire series.
What shit do I give about that? It's a good series. Why? Who cares if it's racist?
The first show, this woman, every guy she goes out with is a white guy who's a douchebag.
Yep.
And then she sets up shop with a black guy because he's not a douchebag. Black men are not douchebags, and white guys are all douchebags. You don't see this?
I took it very differently. No, I did not. She had no partner, and the doorman was her real friend. But come on. All right,
whatever.
You
don't think the line, I wasn't looking in their eyes, Natasha. I was seeing in your eyes whether you like them. I mean,
what's wrong with that?
It made me throw up.
Wow, you are a stone cold bastard.
Ugh.
It's a great series.
Oh, yeah. I'm sure that you. Yeah,
I cried during one.
Lit with candles. Let me just answer me that question.
No.
The room was lit with candles.
No. Wow. I mean, I'm pretty open to seeing weird stuff in show. I saw nothing but just lovely stories that I really enjoyed, and now I almost feel dirty for liking it because I'm being shamed for being a racist. Move on, please. Damn.
The one good review I saw, some guy gave it 1 star, says, I just wasted, he said, I watched the 3 episodes, I wasted an hour and a half of my life. All right, onward to our donors who are more important than that horrible show. Anne's, the racist show, by the way. Ann Spillers is in, I'm sorry, she's up on deck, and she did send a note.
Wait, where are you? We're Joel Nelson. I don't know what you're doing.
Who was I jumped the gun. For some reason, I saw Ann Spillers. Okay, Joel Nelson is in Richfield, Minnesota. $247. Hey, Joel.
And he has a note.
No, I saw was the JCD had note, and I know Spillers had a note, but I didn't see this Joel Nelson note. So, you know what I have to do?
No. Just because you don't like romantic stories and immediately see the black and white issues because you probably inherently are a racist doesn't mean that you can just go ahead and pretend you didn't do any work because you didn't have the email at the ready. You should do a lot better. You need the help of the one and only. And I hate dogs.
You do. There's nothing here. Joel Nelson sent another missing newsletter on August 24th, 2019.
Jeez.
Thanks, John. I didn't get the newsletter, but there's nothing that has to do with this particular.
Let me just do a quick scan. No, I don't have any Joel Nelson.
This JCD has note. Oh, I'm sorry. I do have the note. He mailed this in. Well, that was fun going through squirrel mail, though. Dear John and Adam, this was supposed to be one half of a Lucky Jew donation, but like most things in my fiscal life, it's a bit short. Thank you both for keeping on with the best cod piece in the universe. I found it humorous. According to the Mueller report. Okay.
Show is off the rails now, okay? It's off the rails.
Karma requests. Okay, here we go.
Oh, yeah, sure. Throw some
He
work
needs
my
some
way.
human resource karma for his wife, who's growing our first.
Mm-hmm.
Needs some. These are all karma, so it's just one big karma.
Okay, big
Health
ass karma. Okay.
Health karma for me as I recover from an acute disc herniation. Small business karma for the dude named Ben who hit me in the mouth. Oh, that's nice. Positive thoughts to you both. And then a dealer's choice of jingles. If you want anything, you can throw something in there.
You know what? I'm going to give him a little bit of extra special Russian karma today, which we just received in the mail. I think that will be my dealer's choice. And then we'll throw in some goat karma.
У тебя есть карма.
You've got karma.
There we go. A Russian karma.
Worst karma ever.
Hey, it's Russian. What can I say? It came out of a gray recording booth.
Larage. I don't want to make this a show about shows, but now that you mentioned it, because you mentioned it earlier and I didn't chime in about her being in that little booth. You know, it just sounded like she's in a crappy booth. Does anybody find it annoying when you watch TV news? You know what these booths are? They have these, not every studio has them, but most of them do. When you're doing a package, you go into this little, it's like a phone booth, and it's got a mic in it. Typically of the mic, it's got dead sound, completely dead sound, and you talk into the mic, you do voiceovers or whatever you do.
And the booth has holes drilled into the paneling.
Oh, so you don't die in there.
It's the old school.
It's the only reason it's like you're a hamster in a cardboard
just
box.
Need a wheel, yeah.
So when you would listen to the reports on television, and I'm talking network, you hear the guy with a crispy voice, and then as he goes into his package, the voice changes to And every time I hear this, I say,
Tom Yama's reporting for ABC News.
Last night here at ABC News.
That's kind of the difference, yeah.
What is the deal that people would say, and I sound like Joe Biden, what is the deal? That people think this transition from one noisy sound, kind of an open mic, full room sound, to a closed soundproof booth, how is that professional? And they all do it.
What's interesting is when at MTV we did many packages for the Week in Rock, and which was a weekly show. I really enjoyed doing it early on. Of course, they kicked everybody off because they had a news department, and Kurt Loder came in. And but we would do the voiceovers right after, or before a show, depending on what it was. We probably usually do right after we had recorded. We do a voiceover in the studio with the lav mic sitting in the same spot for the packages they were going to put together later, because then you'd have the same audio. Of course, the problem is it's much more expensive to keep the whole studio running just for these voiceovers, but man, does it make a difference.
Well, congratulations. I think that's exactly what you have to do.
Yeah. Thank you. I don't think I deserve any kudos for it, but that is,
Well, just saying.
I'm just giving some technical background. It's all going to be in the book.
Onward. Juraj Koljak. I don't know. He's
Juraj Koljak. It's like
CZ is Czech Republic.
He's the Kojak.
Now, by the way, I got called out for saying Czechoslovakia.
Ooh, Czech Republic.
Czech Republic.
Yeah. Who are you, Putin? All roads lead to Putin once again.
No jingles, no jingles. Joke karma. I don't know what is this?
No jingles, just jobs karma. NJJJK. No jingles, just. It even says it there in English.
I'm thinking. I'm thinking in Czech.
Jobs, 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 and jobs. Let's vote for jobs.
You've got karma.
John Patrick in Decatur, Illinois, $225. He says, much respect. Go podcasting.
Right on. That's it?
Yeah.
No, very nice. Well, thank you. What a great list of donors today. No one's really asking for anything. They're just saying nice things. Except you.
Yeah, that's fantastic.
Just
Ann
calling me
Spillers is
horrible.
in the same group. Except she sent an email. $201. And Ann, she's the email that I was trying to get to earlier.
Okay. Well, I'm not going to play the.
No, I don't have to look. It's I already found it. I have it already posted. I did my job.
Oh, okay.
Oh, you got a pen?
Brother, you did your job, except you okay, throw me under the bus. All right, got my pen.
This donation makes me a dame.
Oh, but this is more than just a pencil. I got to get the spreadsheet out. Okay, let's go. So, Ann Spillers, this is fantastic. So we do
Ann
have
Spillers is a dame. This is a dame. This is our dame drive.
And yes, I understand, but it's completely unexpected because you were hoarding the note. Yes.
Yes, I was. I was hoarding the note. That's exactly right.
And
I'd like to be known as Dame Ann of Grey Rock.
okay.
A-N-N-E.
And of Dame Ann of Grey Rock, you said?
Of Grey Rock, yeah.
Grey or A-Y?
A-Y.
Grey Rock. One word?
Yeah.
Grey Rock. Nice.
With a K. You can continue this gag for as long as you want. O-C-K?
Okay.
I'm just kidding. The last few shows have been fantastic. Thanks for the amazing deconstruction. My 7-year-old daughter, who must have appreciated Adam's earlier F-bomb, and I love you both. My husband, not as much.
Surprise, surprise.
But this is good. But our daughter is desperately trying to convert him.
Wow. Conversion therapy, no agenda style.
Yeah,
Nice.
upwards from the bottom up.
Nice.
Thanks for giving me the opportunity to introduce her to critical thinking. She's going to be a terror, by the way. A
that's right.
7-year-old that
That's
gets
right.
the no agenda way of looking at things.
Will be president.
She's going to definitely rule the roost at school.
Destined for greatness. Stay in
The way I
touch.
see it, the teacher's
Stay
full
in
of
touch.
crap.
What's her name? Do we have a name for the 7-year-old?
She never mentions her name.
Okay.
Can I get a health karma for her since she recently diagnosed with juvenile arthritis?
Oh, crap.
Yes, kids can get arthritis too, and it stinks.
Oh, man.
Also, a Reverend Al dealer's choice. China is asshole, and that's true. Keep up the great work, Anne.
Okay, so we'll do, and that's true. And does she not have anything for the round table, was my question.
Nope.
Oh, that's too bad. Okay.
Well, that's, I don't know why you'd encourage that. The round table's loaded with stuff.
Yeah, but, well, I mean, okay, she'll be happy with Rent Boys and Chardonnay, I guess.
No, there's a female version for that.
No, that is the female version.
Oh. Oh, yeah, you're right. Now that I think about it.
R-E-S-P-I-C-T.
China is asshole.
That's true. You've got karma.
Oh, nice. Very, very nice. We do our Dame Drive continues. This is very encouraging.
I want to see a Dame a show.
A Dame a show. Oh man, yes.
It's doable.
Yep. Where's my here it is. We need the Dame Drive donation jingle. That's what we need here.
There is nothing like a dame. Nothing in the world. Donation will claim there ain't anything like a dame.
See, you showing our true Broadway roots. John and I, of course, come from the theater. Decades spent in
And
the
I
theater.
came from the theater a couple nights ago.
And I was there just last night. Well, thank you very much, Anne.
Wait, we got one more. Oh, I'm sorry, you did the thing in her.
Yeah, I was going to say thank you very much, Anne. Really look forward to having you by yourself up here on the podium. And thank you for teaching your daughter the right way.
Yeah. And finally, last on our list, within the same theme of the entire list, Sir Joe comes in with $200, parts unknown, and he says, no jingles, no karma. NJNK, we're done.
Fantastic. Thank you to our executive producers and our associate executive producers. These are credits that are real, just like any other credit in show business. Of course, we don't have the hookers and all that stuff for you. But as an executive producer, you do get to laud this credit over others. They are valuable everywhere they're recognized. So feel free to put that on your resume, put it on your LinkedIn. LinkedIn is the place where everybody gets hired these days. It's none of these job listings. It's all about LinkedIn. It's an incredible ripoff for people who are advertising jobs on it. But they can also, like John does, you have the premium account and you can go search for people.
I pulled my premium account.
Oh, that's disappointing.
Oh yeah, I'm not going to pay that money. I've said it before. I'll say it again. I download for backup my contact list, my followers.
Oh, you did say this. Yeah,
they stopped giving me the email addresses.
You're breaking up with big tech, and I'm proud of you, John. That's very good. Now, for those of you who still have regular jobs, you probably will see that you're being recruited on LinkedIn. So when someone looks for an executive producer, do you know how many people look for executive producers? A lot. So make sure you put that on your LinkedIn profile. And we'll be thanking more people who came in $50 and above in the second segment. We have a Daming coming up in our Dame Drive. And for anybody else who would like to consider supporting this program as a producer of the No Agenda podcast, you can do that by going to
Dvorak.org/NA.
I think we have definitely earned our spurs for today. You know what? Go out there, propagate.
Our formula is this. We go out, we hit people in the mouth.
Shut up, slave!
Shut up. I got a new one.
Wow.
I guess
Which little girl was that?
Well, the Seed Man, of course, has been hearing
Shut up, slave!
for years, because he listens to our show, obviously. And I guess that...
Shut up, slave!
I guess something stuck.
God.
It's kind of harsh, isn't it?
Yeah.
Uh-oh.
OTG, going OTG.
Tell me about it, man. I'm an OTG kind of guy.
OTG, going OTG.
Yes, off the grid for a moment here with the No Agenda show. Off the grid, where we break up with big tech, and we're happy about it. Very happy. I do have a couple of stories that were sent in, a couple things to mention, and a review. Do you recall on the previous show we were talking about the manager of devices at Google saying, yeah, you should probably disclose to guests that come over if you're using a Google speaker or Amazon Alexa. You should probably disclose to them that these systems are listening all the time.
Yeah, because they didn't sign the document, the EULA.
Right. And do you remember what we made a recommendation of how you could shame people into not having these devices?
Yeah, it was extreme, but it was a good idea.
So Brad,
you may want to repeat it.
Producer Brad reports, Adam, the butt porn search worked. That was my suggestion. Say, hey, Google, search for butt porn. And Brad writes in, Adam, no freaking joke, man. You just made my phone look up butt porn. I was playing you through a Bluetooth speaker and you Googled my phone into looking it up. I couldn't believe it worked. So after 15 minutes of browsing butt porn, I decided to email you. So it does work. Excellent. Thank you very much, Brad, for that report. Corrections came in. This is from a dude named Ben. Adam, Thursday's discussion of uBlock Origin being banned from the Chrome store was premature. This is the very often, I've used it. This is a very popular ad blocker. Ad blocking is an issue. It breaks Google's advertising model. Chrome is a Google product. It was only the development build, apparently, that was rejected by the automated submission system. It was never removed from the store. I don't think I said it was removed from the store, so it was blocked. Just one beta build that was automatically rejected for unknown reasons, but the issue has since been resolved. Okay. But I think in our future, ad blockers have limited prospects. And then with regards to Safari's fraudulent website warning, this was also FUD, he says, which means we probably fell for fear, uncertainty, and doubt. The issue, now what I reported on this is that the Safari browser looks, and if it hits a URL that is on the fraudulent website list, which is the problem, quite honestly, that's the problem. Yeah. It then was reporting this to China's Tencent and to Google. So he goes on and says, with regards to Safari's fraudulent website warning, URLs are only sent to Tencent if your region is set to China. Okay. Google's safe browsing list is used in the rest of the world. I don't know why people are losing their shit over this, though. Oh, let me tell you why I'm losing my shit over it, because we're on that list. That list gets propagated to firewalls, to corporate firewall. We are blocked in so many places because of effing lists. Yeah, I have a real problem with people doing that. I have a real problem with a central...
I have a problem with people who don't think it's a problem.
Yeah, and he's a dude named Ben, so, I'm going
you think
easy
you know
on
better.
him. But it is a very big problem. Lists of fraudulent websites is very subjective. And can you get off of these websites? No. These lists? No, you can't get off the list. Who do you contact? There's no way to get off the list. You're on the list forever. I can never, ever do anything advertising based with Google. I got banned years ago, and it's impossible. Not that I want it, but it's actually... Part of the reason we're doing this is because I saw this happen. Like, okay, fine. It was 2010, I think, or 2009. And they rejected me. Forever. Lifetime ban. Now, let's talk a little bit about, and this is probably my favorite story, why you need to break up with big tech. Yahoo Groups is shutting down on October 28th.
What?
Yes. They will be...
Wait, hold on a second.
Yep.
Yahoo Groups, one of the first...
Yeah. 2001 they started, Yahoo Groups.
I'm surprised it's that late. But they've had these groups, and people have, even though over the years they've been banning people, they've been actually active about them, they kind of backed off, they didn't care. But many sewing clubs...
How about ham radio guys? Every different variety.
Car clubs, Chevy owners, any sort of group.
Dogs are people too big. Lovers. Yeah, everything's there. And I think it is mainly because they can't figure out how to make money off of it. I don't know how much it costs to keep this running.
Putting an ad up.
But you can't make money on this stupid stuff. There's no money to be made.
When's the last time? Okay, I agree with that.
Okay, thank you.
But you can pretend you're making money by doing something other than absolutely nothing. No. Yeah, you can't make money if you don't do anything.
This is, Verizon
it's
owns
like
it
us
now.
Bitching about, how much money we get from advertising? We don't get any money from advertising, so we're shutting down the podcast. Well, you never had an ad. Yeah, well, there's that. I mean, come on.
Well, the point is that, and so now there are a number of people, including a number of outfits, including Groups.io, who say, yeah, you can port your stuff over, and the sheeple are going, oh, that's a good idea. I'll take it from this silo to that silo. Morons. Yeah, that is so stupid. You can set up your
voice,
own.
By the way,
it was. Yeah, it is a new voice.
It's a little offshoot of Freddy the Fireman.
Freddy. Yeah, it's a little bit like that.
Yeah.
But please think for a second, people. Don't take it from one and throw it into the next. And anything.
Do your own.
Yes, set up.
WordPress.com is free.
Learn how to set up Don't even go to free. Set up your own server. Learn how to import some data and to set up a chat group.
I'm not expecting the knitting club to do that.
Why not? What kind of knitting people aren't stupid?
They don't want to do it.
That's really degrading. I have no idea why you said that. Knitting today involves a lot of computer work. There are patterns. It's all this stuff that involves computers. And you're just an old white dude, man. That's patriarchy talking right there.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, but anyway,
modern love.
Verizon is getting out of the game. HuffPo is up for sale. I'm sure you can get it for $1 for the domain name. It's it all goes away. What you're seeing now with Facebook and Twitter, it all goes away. It may take another decade. It all goes away.
What's annoying to me is that they sell it as though it's going to be here forever. Oh yeah, and I know what the old thinking was at Yahoo. It was, we can set up these groups and that keep people in the Yahoo family. They'll be on the site.
Yeah.
We can then get them to go over to our news, and we can get them to do this. We can get them to do that because they're on the site. So these groups are great. They don't cost us a lot of money, and they don't because there's not much going on. It's not like just breaking the bank.
Right.
Running, a small group, but it was all this, pie in the sky, and then of course now they're owned by AT&T or whoever owns Yahoo. I can't remember.
No, Verizon.
Jerk offs. These phone companies get. I don't get it.
Hey man, we have the network and the content, man. It's the dream. Don't you? That's why they bought it.
Time code.
Yeah, I'm writing that. That's truly what it was. That was the AOL dream. That was it.
Yeah.
And we'll send people CDs, discs. It'll work. It'll be great. Floppies. Now for the pièce de résistance. Producer Mike, true to his word.
The longest OTG segment historically.
No,
somebody get a time code on this.
Producer Mike sent me, as he promised, through to the P.O. Box 18209, Austin, Texas 78760. A Pixel 3, completely flashed and loaded with Graphene OS, Graphene OS. Graphene OS, which is the developer of Copperhead OS, got in some tiff with the company that it was trying to set up, and anyway, he left and he created his own version of this, and this is the one that will change your network card's MAC address randomly. So there's all these different tricks that will certainly circumvent spying from big tech, but it's really much more of a complete open source, no Google touching it at all. I think it's called ASOP, so it's really the original operating system, and then tweaked so that the apps can't talk to each other under the hood. You can set every single permission manually on every single app. All of them are off pretty much by default, but you can say, no, you can't access motion sensors. And they have the F-Droid App Store, which is all open source free software. And so it has email, it has a stripped down version of Chrome, which has removed all the googly stuff. It had a number of VPN type firewalls, very much like the Pi-hole that we've talked about, where you can download a block list, and these URLs will never even really come into your machine. You'll never actually go and access them. It looks like shit, of course, because there's no prettiness to it. It's just functionality. There's a podcast app in there, and I was able to install a couple other things. And I thought that this would be the ultimate breakup with big tech phone, very much like we have, the Purism phone, the Librem 5, I think, and there's a number of these, pure plays that are out there. And I was very excited to try this. Like, okay, finally, this is it, because I'm still using the cloaked iPhone 5, which is pretty good against tracking. It's certainly not not bulletproof for someone to try and get into my phone, but there's really not much there because I don't store credit cards and all that stuff. And I have to say, it's unusable for me. It's too good. I cannot use this because here's what happened to me. This thing is so fast that I was finding myself just grabbing the phone. Let me just check email for a second. Or, I can just look at Twitter. I can just check that real quick in the browser. Exactly the opposite of what I want. I need a piece of crap phone that deters me from doing this. It has to be so much effort to do any kind of function except take a call, send and receive text messages, and once in a while, like if you're out shopping and your podcast partner says, could you please review the newsletter? It'll take me 5 or 6 minutes to get the email, find it, the email queue to download, then open it up in something that actually will open Word that isn't Word, and then review it and painfully copy paste and put something back to you. So as much as I really enjoy what they're doing with this, it does not, and I slip right into it, John. I slip right back into the addiction. I felt it coming fast and hard. Like you take that one toke of the cigarette, like, it's okay, I can do it. I know I can do it. I can just have that one. No. You need to have shit OS. It has to be the worst in the world. Otherwise, if you don't, and I just don't have that much willpower, it becomes too easy.
It's usually a puff you take of a cigarette.
What did I say?
Toke.
Ooh, sorry. Old habits break hard.
Well, let's stop and think about this. You don't want... So in other words, this off-the-grid thing is not about solely just being off the grid, because the fixed... And then let me back up one further step. It doesn't have to look like shit. It doesn't have to look terrible or crummy, because there are artists out there, and there are that are tech savvy.
You mean you're talking? Well, it doesn't.
Paul Couture is who does the site.
But what's your point? What's your point? I said the graphene OS. It didn't matter that it looked like crap.
No, I'm just saying it, but it doesn't have to look crappy. There's just
no, and the iPhone
effort or care.
The iPhone 5 looks good.
Okay, forget I even said that.
Yeah, I will.
Let's get back to the point I'm trying to make, which is that you don't want to be off the grid. You don't like these to be stuck thinking or using these products seamlessly, so because you get addicted to them.
Let me explain.
And you don't want that either. So it's not just being off the grid.
No, OTG is a misnomer, of course. If it was truly off the grid, it would have no radios and wouldn't communicate with anything. It's on the grid. It's about making me an extension of the grid. I don't want to be continuously connected. This is why I laugh at people who walk around with their phones while they're driving, while they're talking, while they're eating, while they're people making love pick up their phones. You need to remove that from your life. That is the damaging thing.
Yes.
Okay.
I almost got. I would say I almost got killed. No, I almost killed somebody. Luckily, when I drive. I hate telling these stories.
Your stories are great.
I used to work for the air pollution district. We had to drive all the time, all day and all night. So you get really good at left foot braking. And so I drive that way normally when I'm in the city or anywhere around. I'm always left foot braking because don't do that. They always tell you that.
That's incredibly dangerous.
It's not. How is it dangerous?
Well, tell me about how you almost killed somebody.
Some dummy, some girl's making a left turn while on her phone.
Uh-huh.
And I saw this coming a mile away, so I slowed down and kind of, and she turned right in front of me on a main thing, right in front of me. I was like 3 feet away. Luckily, because I'm left foot braking, I could stop in time and lay on the horn.
Mm-hmm.
So everybody in the vicinity could see what was going on. She was pulling right in front of me because she was paying no attention to that turn. She's making a left turn in front of me. And I was thinking about it afterwards because I just don't do this, but I thought, I could have gotten some body work done.
Wait, here's how I imagine you in whatever you're driving. Oh, she's making a left-hand turn. And that's your horn, right?
Pretty much. And but I didn't hit her, but it would have been obvious what would happen, and she probably was texting or something while turning.
Mm-hmm.
These people are nuts.
So what's your point? You're breaking it down and you've told this story.
I'm just the reason I've told the story is because you said you don't like people walking around looking at their phone like zombies. They're driving like that.
Okay, it's not just a public safety issue. It's a sanity issue. I already see in the troll room people say, well, I just turn off notifications. No, it's when this is what happens. Every waking moment that there is a downtime second in human interaction, people whip out their phones. Oh boy, we're waiting for the waiter to come. Let's look at our phones. Gee, I'm at the stoplight. Let's look at my phone. It's a commercial break. Let's look at my phone. That's the sickness. And you need to remove it from your life. You still have to be connected. It's important to be connected in a connected world, but without incredible willpower, you become a zombie through just the draw that the information has. You have to put up blocks. And the only way, and so I guess that's the point of my story is, it does not matter what the operating system is. If it functions well, it's bad for me. This is my personal experience. It has to be really shit. And shit OS is what I call it. At the same time, I was also, compared to the iPhone 5, which is just this beautiful format, nice and small. It has no cover on it. I've dropped it on the ground. It doesn't shatter right away. At least it hasn't on me yet. I've chipped a corner off of it, but the glass didn't break. And it only does it keeps me in touch with people through text message, phone call, voicemail. And if I need to, I can get an email. I can send an email, but I can't even do my typical show prep stuff on it. So if someone sends me an email, check this link out, to click on that link before Safari has gotten there, it takes so long that it's not worth it. And that's what that to me is OTG.
Okay.
And it's for your sanity. Now, you're lucky. You already have inherent ability to leave this thing in the drawer. I mean, I also know I don't text you. There's no reason to text you. You'll never read the text except twice a week. I do some texting. I do it on the computer using Google Voice. Oh, okay. That's fair.
So I type on it, but it's only when I have voice.google.com open. And I only do that I only routinely do it twice a week because I do it when I send the newsletters ready. That's not coming from my phone. That's coming. I just finished the newsletter and I just mailed it to you. And then I just go to another tab on my browser and I type that into the Google Voice as a text message and you get it. It looks like a text message from a phone, but it's not. It's bullcrap. I rarely text from my phone. I will receive texts once in a while, and I text if I didn't pay the bill or something, or they didn't charge me right, and I go back and forth. But it generally ends up with a phone call. But I don't like to have the phone with me all the time. I just don't. I don't like I don't like the idea of it being on in my pocket. Because every time it's because I have it put it on by the computer once in a while, it's buzzing and zzz, and the noise is good. It's electrifying my balls. I don't need this Ray RF down there. I don't like it on my ear. I don't like the RF against my head. I just don't like it. Or then you put it in your pocket, your shirt pocket, which it should fit into.
Yeah, does it electrify your heart?
Because it's always these signals or just doing signaling that's way above and beyond what it should be doing.
Now, all of this being said, I was very impressed with the open source mapping and driving application called Here, Here. Incredibly useful. I mean, it even had some. I think it had some traffic data that it was getting, but it was not. It's not your big Silicon Valley, big tech type of operations.
Does it do turn by turn?
Yeah, it does turn by turn and a moving map and the whole thing, and different voices. Very impressive.
Really?
I mean, all of this stuff works. My problem was the browser.
Yeah, no, I get what your problem is, but I'm kind of interested in that part of it.
Well, you would love this. I don't know.
Borrow it from you. Whatever.
We're not going to borrow anything because when it goes to your place, it's in the black hole.
You down with OTG? You down with OTG? You down with OTG? Adam's OTG. You down with OTG?
So there you go, OTG. Break up with big tech. Beware of your sanity. And I should probably register that. Hold on a second. Can you just let me check? I can probably do this.
OTG sanity?
No. I was going to do.
Somebody's doing it right now. They're trying to beat you.
No. No one can beat me on this. I don't think anyone has this. Hold on. I'm not going to say it until it's.
Until it's done.
Damn it.
Somebody's got it.
Shit OS. Someone already has it. That's too bad. shitos.com.
We have a 7-year-old listening. Hey. Now, just as a kind of a fun clip.
Okay.
You've heard of Well, the bonus clip I sent, I want to play. Now, this came from one of our. We both know this woman. She's a famous broadcaster, and I would leave her name out of it. But I got this morning. I just thought it was hilarious. Let's just play this clip.
I don't know. I'm no climate change expert. I am a climate change survivor.
This is the mayor of Puerto Rico, of the main town of San Juan, Puerto Rico. She's a climate survivor, climate change survivor.
I heard that. Yes. Because of the hurricane?
You can be a Holocaust survivor and
well, it makes
cancer
sense.
survivor.
Yes, if you can be a climate change denier, then someone needs to be a survivor, like a Holocaust survivor. Very good. Yeah.
Yeah, that's the connection. Exactly.
Wow. Well, there were some protests going on at the Capitol, which no one heard about, and 2 very famous actors were arrested, which no one heard about.
Well, well, we're going to hear about it now.
What do we want? A Green New Deal. What do we want? Now. What do we want? A Green New Deal. What do we want? Now.
And so this is the what do we want? A Green New Deal. When do we want it? Now. The most uninspired chant in the effing universe.
Yes.
As Jane Fonda and Sam Waters got arrested.
A Green New Deal. When do we want it? Now. What do we want? A Green New Deal. When do we want it?
And now Jane gets arrested.
Go,
Jane! Woo! Arrested. All right. She's showing her handcuffs to the camera. I'm Jane Fonda. I'm getting arrested. And here comes Sam Waters. Waterston.
Everybody congratulate Sam on his first arrest.
How pathetic is it that people are getting arrested and there's cheers for it? The cops are standing there going, really? I got to clap this 85-year-old in handcuffs? Okay. All right, if that's what... It's just a waste of time. It made 0 news coverage. No one cares. But Jane Fonda's face looks dynamite. I mean, Nancy Pelosi should go talk to her. Oh, my goodness.
Yeah, she has work done by the best.
And she had the beret on, and she looked perfect. Sam Waterston, I guess they're both on the show, Frankie and Grace, or Grace and Frankie, which I like that show. I'm sure it's racist and dumb. I'm sure that you hate it. I like the show. But it's
just because I said that other show is racist doesn't mean I think everything is racist.
You think this show is pathetic because it makes old actors play gay people. I know that's what you're thinking.
I don't. I saw the show when it first came out. I thought it was well done, well shot, well produced. I thought it was a little slow moving and boring, so I stopped watching it. I maybe saw 2. It's a very boring show. It's got nothing to do with racism.
Right. No, I didn't say that. There's no black people in the show. Oh, yeah, there is one black person. Token blacks. He's racist. But I just find it very sad that these actors, and they were holding Green New Deal signs professionally printed.
All printed.
Yes. Yeah. And Jane and
Sam. It costs
Sam.
money. You can't make paint without fossil fuel.
No, you can't.
Can't.
It's just the whole thing. It's like, it felt just sad. Sad.
So there's, on the topic of celebrities.
Oh, I was going to do one more climate change.
Oh, okay. Do one more. Then I want to get back to celebrities.
Yeah, of course. Why wouldn't we get back to celebrities when we can be doing climate change? Just for everyone who really wants the U.S. to stay at war, this is something you could use around the water cooler if someone says, just to see if you could fry someone's brain. Like, man, we gotta stay. We gotta protect the Kurds, man. We gotta protect the Kurds.
2 major studies published in June remained buried by most major media outlets. The first, Pentagon Fuel Use, Climate Change, and the Costs of War, by Brown University's Costs of War Project, confirmed previous findings that the U.S. military is the single largest producer of greenhouse gases in the world, and that the Pentagon is responsible for between 77 and 80% of all U.S. government energy consumption since 2001. The second study, Hidden Carbon Costs of the Everywhere War, Logistics, Geopolitical Ecology, and the Carbon Bootprint of the U.S. Military, published in Transactions of the Institute of British Geographers, found that if the U.S. military were a country, its fuel usage alone would make it the 47th largest emitter of greenhouse gases in the world, between Peru and Portugal. But these groundbreaking studies received no coverage in virtually all of the U.S.'s biggest papers and TV news channels.
Well, duh. I like that. Carbon Bootprint.
Oh, is that what she said?
Someone in the troll room said it. I don't know.
Oh, somebody said Carbon Bootprint. That's great.
Yeah.
By the way, I want to give you a Borderline clip for that. That was a nice clip.
Thank you. It's from the show Counterspin, and producer sent it to me. I don't remember who sent it to me, but it is, of course, appreciated. Woo!
So I just have, this is a clip that really has nothing to do with anything that's a thematic topic for today, but I just thought it was interesting because it refers to the movie that's getting more publicity, this Joker movie.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Which I haven't seen.
I've not seen it either. No.
I probably see it when it comes out on pay-per-view, but
hello.
I don't want to get shot in the theater.
Hello, pay-per-view. You mean like Amazon or Netflix? I don't think pay-per-view is really a thing anymore.
It's just still a thing, but it's it's a controversial film. But so this guy that comes on and does these editorials, well, you've seen it before. He's got this very stilted way of speaking and a giant mole named Mr. Reagan or Mr. Reagan. And he's a podcaster, and you've seen him. And he made this little aside. He went off. He was doing a review of the movie, which he thinks is a work of genius right-wing art.
Of course, yes.
And he did this little aside that I thought was just, whether it's true or not, I'm not sure, but I can kind of believe it might be true, and it's very disgusting.
With this film, they were trying to say, this is what happens when the wealthy and powerful neglect the common people. This is what you get. Now, I discussed this film yesterday with a very talented, successful director out here in Los Angeles. He's a closeted conservative. He can't expose his political views to anyone without being blacklisted. But he happens to be a fan of this channel, so we've become friends. The other day, he was told by his agent that he wasn't going to be getting much work in the near future because he's a straight white male. The agent suggested, very seriously, that this director come out as trans, or at least gender non-binary. This, the agent told him, would make him eligible to get more jobs as a director. That is not a joke.
I believe it.
I believe it too.
I believe it. In fact, I have just to give you an idea, under the SJW heading, this is a promo for the Spotify, the music company. Now, you have to, I wish I could kind of, I can't really show you this, but the people speaking are all white. They're all trans except for the one Asian American girl, millennial, who I guess is in charge of human resources. They're in a beautiful glass building overlooking San Francisco, in their office with a barista, sipping cappuccino while they're discussing this.
At Spotify, everyone just trusts each other and has this culture of it's okay to ask questions even if they might be difficult questions.
Pronouns are kind of a tricky subject for me in that I keep going back and forth about kind of what to use where.
Well, I spent about 30 years or so in the closet because my previous employers didn't have any particular tolerance for transgender people.
At Spotify, we have employee resource groups, and Spectrum is our LGBTQ plus employee resource group.
At Spotify, having a diverse workforce and being inclusive is important so everyone can feel like themselves at work.
So what we did is to come up with a list of essentially every medical procedure that trans people might need.
Basically, Spotify said, oh, we didn't realize there was a problem there. We'll fix it. And that was pretty amazing.
As of 2019, we now offer masculinization and feminization treatments recommended by the World Professional Association for Transgender Health.
It's not a question of vanity. You know, for someone who needs these things, it's really a question of being able to be perceived, you know, as themselves.
At Spotify, everyone's part of Spotify. Everyone's a member of the band, and everyone is determined to help everyone else who needs it.
My advice is don't be afraid. There's nothing wrong with knowing who you are and where you stand.
Part of what I'm doing here is trying to be visible so people who are like me know that they're not alone.
Now, as we were talking earlier, John, about the entertainment business, and I consider this to be an entertainment company, the first down quarter this publicly listed company has, gone are your feminization treatments, okay? That's the first thing they're going to cut. I'm telling you.
That's new on the list, by the way.
But this virtue, and the thing that struck me was it was all white people. Trans this, trans that. Oh,
all virtue signaling. Yeah.
Oh, and they're drinking cappuccinos in their glass offices overlooking San Francisco. It couldn't get more elitist.
Well, now that's elitist. I took the thing. There's a subtle message in there. I think it's elitist gay. Because
that's a Silicon Valley thing, probably then.
So I think it's an elite. I think it's a gay company.
Mm-hmm.
And the reason I say that is because of the code word that was in there, which was for all members of the band.
Yeah.
And there was a movie called Boys in the Band, which was one of the first movies about
gay movie,
but the gays.
Mm-hmm. The gays.
It seemed to me to be code. So these are a bunch of elitist gays that are just virtue signaling, and it's like you're right. It's all bull crap.
Totally, and it's all going away with your first down quarter, or you know when you lose the lawsuit and you have to pay $80 billion in back royalties. This is the first thing that's going to go. Hey, give me your feminization back. Spotify. Yeah.
I can't believe. Why would they put it? This is really. I really hate virtue signalers like this.
Mm-hmm. I hear you. I hear it. Yes.
Yeah, you want to do all that stuff, just do it. Why do you have to brag about it? I mean, the old thing was like if you're a very generous person, a philanthropist, many of them to this day, they don't go bragging about it. Oh, I'm spending all this money on things.
It's not philanthropy if you talk about it. That's the way I see it.
Just do it. You either do it or you don't. You don't do it and then brag about it.
Yes. Oh, yes. I'm so great. Exactly.
So
we should do. We should take a break right here. We've had too much.
Take a break?
Yeah, we've been talking too long, man.
I'm going to show my support by donating to No Agenda. Imagine all the people who could do that. Oh yeah, that'd be fab. Yeah, on No Agenda in the morning.
And we do have a few people to thank, as a matter of fact, including Charles McAdams, who. What is this? Hang on. I don't know why I got this on here. Anyway, Charles McAdams in Chicago, $140.99. He has a note. I had to read some of it because he has a bunch of douchebag call-outs.
Oh, okay. All right.
So get ready by the button.
Yes, button is handy and ready.
He's got the shout out for T. McAdams. Okay. Well, first of all, he needs a de-douching for T. McAdams.
You've been de-douched.
Somebody. Then he needs a calling out for T. Mertzluft. T. Mertzluft.
I'm sorry. I don't know where to do this. You're not helping.
You did it. It's good enough.
All right. That's it?
All right. Yeah.
I thought there was a whole bunch you said.
I thought it was too until I looked at the list.
Okie doke.
Charles and Miguel. Okay, that is in Chicago. Gary Alexander in Dubai came in with $133.33. Dame Gina, $123.45 in Providence, Texas.
And she needs a jobs karma for her smoking hot hubby. It'll be at the end. You bet, Dame Gina?
Robert Dawson in...
Can I just say something? You're really smacking. You're smacking your lips a lot today. Yeah.
Thank you.
A lot of that.
Thank you for that.
All right.
I'm going to just do that instead. Robert Dawson in Tainan City in Taiwan. He's got a bunch of requests there.
China's asshole.
Okay. Good enough. Sir Ronan, Sir Greg, the Ronan, Sir Greg Porter, N7 FSN 73s, $118.90.
Yes, and a reminder for the NAMs, No Agenda Hams, we have a network that we're building. It's our all-star network. It is, if you know how that works, it's node 50450, or you can go to k5acc.com and find out more to join the network. It's a lot of fun, a lot of hams, just like it's a hangout for hams, for No Agenda Hams. And it's fun. And maybe one day you'll hear John on there.
Matthew Januszewski's next on the list. $112.
The only guy who said happy anniversary.
And he says happy anniversary.
Because isn't this our anniversary week?
Yeah, it's anniversary week. Our anniversary is on the 26th of October, technically next Saturday.
So the big show is next Sunday then?
Yeah, the big shoe. The big shoe.
The big shoe. And the big 12th anniversary shoe. Wow.
Yeah, 12th anniversary shoe.
All right, 12 years.
Sir Chris.
And we never had a fight. It's amazing.
Sir Chris Gray of the Isle of Wight, 8888. Need to support you guys. The shows just keep getting better. Huh?
Thank you.
Sir William Wallace, Knight of the Palmetto State, which is South Carolina and Spartansburg, 8008. He found it. He and one other guy found the Easter egg.
Oh, I didn't even know there was one.
Yep.
It was a boob.
It was the boob donation for the cat trying to run up the...
That's what it was?
The slide.
Okay. Should have known.
David Dickman in East Northport, New York, is the other one who found it at 8008. Jason Hartung, $75. Thank you for your courage. Sir Rick in Arlington, Washington, comes in maybe twice a month, $69.96. Sir Kevin McLaughlin, Earl of Luna, $69.69. Anonymous, $66.11. Sir Davey, $62.43.
He says, congratulations. Yeah, 12 years of deconstruction and entertainment. Infotainment is what we call it.
Bob Osagueda, who's an artist, by the way, living, I believe, in Connecticut, but he sent his money in 6006 small boobs through something called People Pay. I sent him a note about this because it showed up in the bank account. And I usually see Pop Money, and I've seen some Zelle, even though the bank says they don't take Zelle. I've seen it. But Pop Money's always worked the best for direct deposits without going through the old SWIFT system, which costs an arm and a leg to do. But these new systems are cheaper, and this one I've never heard of is called People Pay, and there's a bunch of banks in Vermont that use it, and this came through a Vermont bank. I don't know anything about it. I sent Bob a note, and he never responded. I don't know if he got the note or it got lost in the mail. Not sure, but he probably thought I was trying to hit him up for a free print. Me? Sir Paul from Twickenham in Twickenham, Middlesex, UK. 5678. He has a call out to Henry Walkley as a douchebag. Hit him in the mouth about a year ago, and he's yet to donate.
I hate it when that happens.
Angela Meyer in Round Rock, Texas, 5555. I think she needs a de-douching.
Oh, well, we can give her that.
You've been de-douched.
Oh, and this is the
cute note. You should read it.
Well, the Dame Drive is working in all kinds of ways. Sorry it took so long for me to donate. I absolutely love you guys. I finally hit my husband in the mouth with the show. You make me not want to kill myself on my daily I-35 commute from Round Rock to Riverside. I hear you. I hear you. Thank you very much, Angela. Thanks for the mouth hitting, too. And hello to your hubby. Welcome. Welcome,
it's the show that makes you not want to kill yourself.
Talk about infotainment.
Well, Whoa. I have to write that down. Infosainment. Man, right off the top of your head, you did that.
Well, I said it 3 times earlier, but this is the first time you heard it.
Well, hey, third time's a charm.
It's what it is.
Michael Myers in Madisonville, Louisiana, 5510 double nickels on the dime. Also, Dean Roker, double nickels on the dime. Sir Brian Tobiason in Gardner, Kansas, 5388. He wants us to go for another 12 years. And here we are with the No Agenda Show. Adam, wake up. Thomas Miller, 5151. Sir Dem, 5150. Because you're crazy not to donate. That's what he says. Todd Troutman in Austin, Texas, 5120. Sir Doug Dodge, 51. Susie Brown. Susie, also known as Sonia Bosenberg, I guess. 51. Matthew Grice, 5050.
Sorry.
It turns out that $50 is exactly $73 Australian.
No.
Yes. Ham, 73. DeMatt, VK3 FNG, 73.
73's K5ACC.
50s.
50s?
Instead of 73. $50 US is 73 Australian.
Oh, okay. We can try it. I don't know if it'll catch.
50s.
Hey, 50s to you. What?
Come back there, K5ACC. What'd you say?
Clifford Muchler, 5038. Could be Muchler. Robert Stotts in San Diego, California, 5005. Brian Mosler, Duncan, Oklahoma.
It's
W5 BRM 73.
Hold on,
Keep up the fantastic work.
It's Mosier, not Mosler. It's Mosier, and Brian is a truck driver, and he's W5 BRM. He is on the NAMS network all the time. It's in his truck. He's got a portable node. He's got the whole thing rigged up, and it's a great guy. So
nice.
Yeah, K5ACC.com.
We love our truckers.
Yes, especially in Austin. If the truckers stopped, we'd be very hungry in about 48 hours.
Brad Taylor, buy bags of rice. Brad Taylor, Duval, Washington, 50. These are all $50 donors, name and location, starting with Brad. Then Scott Lavender in Montgomery, Texas. David Timmons in Oklahoma City, OK. George Wuchet in Universal City, Texas. A lot of Texans today. Andrew Gusick in Greensboro, North Carolina. And then another North Carolinian with Robert Case in Mill Springs, North Carolina. Thomas Tollett in Shawnee, Oklahoma. And last, we find Jerry Wingenroth in Saugus, California. And Daniel Galloway in Marietta, Georgia. $50. I want to thank all the folks who are contributing to show 1183 and making it possible.
Yes, in our 12th year, almost, and we are going to be celebrating that on, the 26th of October is our official 12th anniversary. We'll have a big celebration on the 27th, I guess, on the Sunday, the 27th show. Thank you to everybody who came in under the $50 cutoff, which we do for reasons of infosainment, but also for anonymity, anonymity. People want to be anonymous, and they can do it that way. It's guaranteed because we'll never read below the 50. But as I said at the beginning of the show in our first segment, thank you, everybody who's a sustaining donor. It does mean a lot, and it's highly appreciated. We have a couple of these requests for karmas, and I want to remind you, we'll do another show on Thursday, and you're welcome to support us for that one. Go to
Dvorak.org/NA.
Jobs, 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 and jobs. Let's vote for jobs.
You've got karma.
And I have a make good here from Sir Jake, the IT Bogan, whose PayPal message got cut off during his knighting. He said, gee, could you please read it for me? Of course. So he had a donation of $100 US, 154.47 in Aussie dollar dues. This will make me a knight of the best podcast in the universe, accounting below. I'd like to be known as Sir Jake, the IT Bogan, as I'm a dude named Ben, and enjoy the Bogan things in life. For the round table, I'd like to request Bundy rum and a bunning sausage with onions on top. I just joined No Agenda Social, and seeing all these knights and dames posting photos of their rings made me think it was time for me to man up. Plus, it now means my old man will have to call me sir. If it's not too much, can I get a shape-shifting Jews and a goat karma? I'll do the shape-shifting Jews at the end of the show. And what I'm going to do is add your roundtable request to the roundtable for today for our daming. And thank you again for supporting the show. And sorry that PayPal messed you up there. Let's do a birthday.
It's a birthday.
Yeah, it's going to be super short today because we only have one birthday on the list. Miraculously, T. McAdams turns 48 years old on October 23rd, and we say happy birthday from everybody here at the best podcast in the universe. And then we can do our single daming, John. The Dame Drive continues. Where's your blade?
I got it.
Nice. All right. And Spillers and Stefan up here. So happy we got your note in time and were able to introduce you to the round table of the No Agenda Knights and Dames. I am very proud to pronounce the Dame Anne of Grey Rock, Dame, and the lady of the No Agenda Round Table. For you, we've got Hookers and Blow, Rent Boys and Chardonnay, Bundy Rum and a bunning sausage with onions on top. But maybe you'd like some harlots and haldol, some geishas and sake, vodka and vanilla, bong hits and bourbon, sparkling cider and escorts, ginger ale and gerbils, breast milk and pablum, beer and blunts, or how about some mutton and mead? Everybody loves it. It's a knight and dame favorite. Dame Anne, welcome to our No Agenda Roundtable and to the family. Thank you so much for supporting the best podcast in the universe. Go to noagendanation.com/rings and then make sure you have a No Agenda social account so you can post that and say hi to all of your fellow Roundtable members. Time for a meetup report.
No Agenda.
We had a number of meetups. I just wanted to mention the Santa Fe meetup attended by Sir Jeff Tuhig, a longtime supporter of the show. He says, Dame Heather of the Lost Boys hosted a great meetup in Santa Fe. Solid turnout. She brought her book on the inside secrets of the CIA just in case no one showed. But we had people come from Colorado even. Hope all is well. It says Jeff from the land of the Mars rover. And then a quick rundown of the meetups. If you haven't seen it, noagendameetups.com, which actually, did I hear, was there a note someone sent you? Maybe it was a message online that meetups.com is now charging people for attendees or some bullcrap like that.
Somebody sent it, but I have not confirmed it.
Yeah, so I'm so happy we moved away from that platform. I mean, we got our own. It's run by one of our producers, which makes it beautiful. He even has I believe he's made the source code available on GitHub if you want to create your own. NoAgendaMeetups.com. Here's what's going on for the 20th, which is today. We have the Michigan Local Number 1 Gunpowder Get-Together. This is the third time they're doing it. They even sent me a note. They're really sorry I can't be there. They'd love to shoot with me. I would love to shoot with you guys. That's Linden Sportsmen Club today. Douchebag Pat is hosting that. Tomorrow, the Mason-Dixon meetup in Louisville, Kentucky. Also today at high noon. So that's already underway upstairs at the Monarch Beer Company. On Thursday, the Nashville, Tennessee Hallow meetup. 6 o'clock at Mas Tacos, organizer Rich B. Brand new, we have this will be Friday, the No Agenda 3 Mile Island Evac Zone meetup. 6 o'clock for all the Southern Pennsylvania and Be More slaves get together at the Boomerang Bar and Grill, exit 40 on I-83. Organizer Matt Weaver. He says we can all plan what to do if something goes awry during the 50-year shutdown of 3 Mile Island. Yes, that's on deck. That's true. Also on Friday, Oregon Local 33, Portland. That's their 4th meetup at Fecklin Brewery and Smokehouse. Charlotte, North Carolina, also on Friday, 7:30, Sycamore Brewing. You okay? You okay? Hello?
What?
I don't know. You went, it sounded like you croaked there for a moment.
No, I didn't croak.
Oh, okay. Next Saturday, this is brand new, Shanghai meetup. Shanghai. This show is global, man. 3 o'clock, China.
You should go to that one.
I wish. 3 o'clock China Standard Time, whatever that is. It'll be at the Cotton Candy Bar and Restaurant, the Anting Road branch in the French concession, Shuwei District. Dr. Jones, PhD, is your host. I can't wait to see our heads on sticks at that place. Nashville, Tennessee, also on Saturday. That is the Breakfast Before Politicon 2019 get-together. Anthony is organizing that for you. The 26th Saturday as well, Colorado Springs Local 719 at the Phantom Canyon Brewing Company. Andrew Jones organizing. Then on Sunday, No Agenda Local 1 Brunch, Plymouth, Michigan, 11 in the morning. Stella's Sidetrack, formerly known as Station 885. And we're going to keep it at that for our upcoming meetups. If you want to know more about a meetup, go to noagendameetups.com. If you didn't hear something that you are interested in, then start your own. That's the beauty of it. noagendameetups.com. It's like a party! Without triggering and without a-holes. No a-holes.
No a-holes.
No a-holes.
Well, I got a couple of things I want to bring into this so we get people up to speed on stuff that no one's reporting on.
Sorry. Yes?
What was that?
It's a premature clipulation.
Well, let's play. Let's start with this. This is a short clip, but I didn't know this was going on. Tell me you knew this was going on. Riots in Lebanon.
Well, yes, in fact, that was exactly the clip I was about to... No,
today, thousands of anti-government demonstrators returned to the streets of Lebanon for a third straight day. Protesters, angry over the country's failing economy, called for a new government, waving flags and marching past storefronts that were smashed and rioting last night. Yesterday, Lebanon's prime minister gave his government a 72-hour deadline to agree on a plan to avert an economic crisis and put an end to the demonstrations. In a televised speech today, the leader of Hezbollah said the group opposes a change in government and said every citizen is responsible for the financial crisis.
See, this is very interesting. I was literally going to play a clip that related to this because I don't have audio of this report, but BBC News is reporting that this riot, this protest started because of the WhatsApp tax. Yes, the government had, listen to this, the government had announced a 20-cent daily charge on voice calls made through WhatsApp. So it comes down to about $6 a month. And the BBC is claiming, oh yes, the people are rioting over the WhatsApp tax. And I'm thinking, really now? Lebanon. Ah, shit, that's not what I wanted. Damn it. Yeah. I wanted to play the obvious. Here's the obvious.
So I came back to see him a few weeks later, and by that time we were bombing in Afghanistan. I said, are we still going to war with Iraq? And he said, oh, it's worse than that. He said, he reached over on his desk, he picked up a piece of paper, he said, I just got this down from upstairs, meaning the Secretary of Defense's office today, and he said, this is a memo that describes how we're going to take out 7 countries in 5 years, starting with Iraq and then Syria, Lebanon, Libya, Somalia, Sudan, and finishing off Iran.
Wow, I've been waiting for Lebanon to join the party. Here they are.
Thanks to WhatsApp.
And yes, thanks to Facebag and WhatsApp. For the BBC to report this, I mean, you know that this is a color revolution. It's the West that's behind it. They've been on the list since 2001. That was General Wesley Clark, who 2 weeks after 9/11 received this briefing of all these countries we're going to take out. And I've been waiting for Lebanon to show up. And there it is. Boom. The neocons at work, a new theater. And now it's, of course, because the free people deserve to have WhatsApp, man. It's just crazy. They can't go without WhatsApp.
It's never even used WhatsApp once.
But the question is, is this the Trump administration doing it? Is it douchebags in the foreign service?
I think it's douchebags in the foreign service. I think they don't pay any attention to what Trump wants.
Right on cue, as we've been following the vape wars and the phony baloney propaganda, only meant to do one thing, to bring the smokeless tobacco to market without any hindrance and nullify, and dare I say, decimate the vape culture and the vape industry. To remind everybody, this is the same company that bought Juul is now going to kill Juul and is going to market only the smokeless tobacco, IQOS, and we're going to get rid of everything, and it's in collusion with Health and Human Services, in collusion with the FDA, and here is the Health and Human Services Secretary, Azar, going on CNBC, the Money Business Program, to move the needle a little bit further to get rid of a perfectly fine industry.
E-cigarettes in the news, Juul.
And mind you, they don't say vaping. Continuously, it's e-cigarettes, e-cigarettes, it's an e-cigarette. E-cigarette, cigarette's bad. E-cigarette, e-cigarette. Who uses the e-cigarette term in the normal world? Nobody. It's all vaping. But no, not when you're trying to get rid of it.
E-cigarettes in the news. Juul is suspending online sales of fruity-flavored cartridges in their vaping devices. They're trying to deter teenagers from buying them. Special guest in the studio this morning, Alex Azar, Health and Human Services Secretary. Mr. Secretary, welcome to the program.
Great to be with you, Stuart.
I heard you early this morning saying that vaping devices, if I can call them that, are illegal anyway. I didn't know that.
That's absolutely right. The Tobacco Control Act says that these e-cigarette devices actually have to be approved by FDA before they can be on the market. Now, the Obama administration said, let's let these be on the market so that adults can get used to them, build a market share to get off of cigarettes.
Sure.
And we carried that forward, but the problem is what we saw is just this explosion of kids using e-cigarettes. And we now have 5 million kids regularly using e-cigarettes and 8 million adults. And while it's important to get adults off of cigarettes, and we're committed to that, we can't let a whole generation of kids get addicted to nicotine.
Because those 5 million youngsters...
Notice how the equation between nicotine and cigarettes is just on par here. It's not the same thing. That's why they continuously call it e-cigarettes. Vaping does not have tar, does not have formaldehyde, does not have all it. It may have other crap in there, but this is a hit job on an entire industry.
Are indeed addicted to nicotine at this point.
The First Lady and I were with kids last week. A young girl who was doing multiple of these cartridges. Each one is a pack of cigarettes nicotine.
Let's make a better comparison. It's like smoking a pack of cigarettes, 25 in your face all at one time.